Hey, all viewers and viewers, my name is General Red Strategist, and welcome back to Survey Being Hunted, episode 462 now. So, Phil is joining me via
Hello.
Skype. How you doing over there, Phil?
Yeah, I'm okay today. Hey,
Yeah,
and yourself? How's your day been getting along?
not too bad. It's been nice and relaxing. Just been mainly been doing housework, washing the old bed sheets and all that, Phil. Getting them in,
Housework
stuffing
day,
them.
yes.
Yeah,
Sunday's usually a housework day, isn't it?
it is. Yeah,
Uh, just getting things done, isn't it? Really,
it is indeed.
that's the main thing. That's what you want to do. Just getting things done, sorting things out, and making sure that your house is looking spick and span.
Indeed, yes.
Have you done anything else apart from housework?
Not much really. I've just been lounging around, being a bit lazy after I finished everything, and just chilling out, shooting some b-ball outside the school and all
When a
that.
couple of guys are up to no good, starting to shoot trouble in my neighbourhood. That's it.
Yep, basically I got in one little fight. My mum got scared, so I had to move with my auntie and uncle in Bel
Uncle
Air
to
and all
Bel
that.
Air, yeah.
There we go.
That's good old
So
tune.
an
Good old
eventful
tune.
Sunday. Sorry, I didn't
Yes,
realise
very
we were going to
eventful
go
Sunday,
down
isn't
that
it?
line of reciting that song, but there we go. Yes.
Yeah, I've just been chilling out. Been to the gym a couple of times today
Yeah.
for my morning and afternoon session, which has been really nice doing
Good.
that.
Sounds
And
good.
yeah, just been and then just been watching some YouTube for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But so you've been on the topic that I have
Yes,
of interest.
you rang me up this afternoon and you were all very excited to say, I've got a topic of interest, let's do a So You're Being Hunted episode. So I was like, oh, hell yes, let's do that.
Yeah, it's quite an
Indeed.
interesting, quite sort of thought-provoking sort of topic,
Okay.
and it's in relation to. So obviously, we've had the immense, horrific, horrendous pandemic, of course, and everything gone haywire. So my question is in relation to that is things that we have learnt or experiences that we have got from this pandemic.
Okay, yeah.
What sort of things have we learned? Or what new things have we come out of this, and experiences that we've obtained from the pandemic, and things that we've
Yeah.
got from it? Yeah. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think probably more than anything, what this pandemic probably really illustrated most of all is not to take some of the little things for granted, like, being able to see friends and family fairly frequently, stuff like that. I mean, obviously, I'm kind of living in an area where I'm sort of away from friends and family at the moment, but I imagine it's the case for a lot of people, of course, suddenly being taken out of your sort of, how should I say, your kind of emotional support bubble, as it were, suddenly not being able to necessarily go
Yeah.
and talk to them at various times.
It's been difficult for people.
Yeah.
Because they've had to be, especially if you're if you're not with don't live close to your
Yeah.
other relatives. It's difficult to go and see them, and especially when they're far away. Like, obviously, I don't live close, and I had to isolate myself away from them,
Yeah.
which was annoying
Not fun,
and
yeah.
difficult.
So, yeah.
It's been tough. It's been a tough couple of years.
Yeah. So I suppose, the kind of lesson to take from that is, value your time with your friends, with your family, and all that, and don't take it for granted. Because yes, I think probably just a couple of years ago, if you'd said to someone, "Oh, we're about to go into a period where there's going to be massive lockdowns," you're going to be kind of in a situation where you're going to have to self-isolate at times. You're going to have to kind of get by without necessarily being without it being the case that you're going to be able to necessarily
Yeah.
engage in any of the sort of social life that you once enjoyed. People at the time would have probably said, "No, that'll never happen," and then it did happen.
That'll never happen. Yeah, exactly. They'd have laughed you out of the place.
Indeed.
Um,
Yes. So I think that's probably the biggest thing for me. That and the fact that I think I've gained more of an appreciation for what it's probably like for people who live with things like conditions that make them immunocompromised, stuff like that, and how hard it is for them.
that also is annoying. Is if you have relatives or people who have been in like old people's homes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to see them. You'd have
Indeed.
had to, knock on the window maybe outside their living quarters and just set it through that way.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because the thing is, even though for many of us now we're sort of on the what you call the kind of almost like the tail end of it, in the sense that it's becoming less and less of a pressing issue. Thing is,
Yeah, it's
for
completely sort of completely disappeared, hasn't it, now out of the news?
yeah, but the thing is, for people who are in vulnerable groups, so like really elderly, immunocompromised, stuff like this, it's still very much a concern for them.
Yeah,
And
'cause
they,
it can
you're
bad
still
effects.
worried. Yeah. So, spare a thought for people in those categories, ladies and gentlemen, because, life hasn't necessarily gone back to normal for them. They may still have to be, taking a lot of precautions.
Did you you
Indeed.
didn't get to see your parents at all, did you?
Um,
During the complete lockdowns.
Well, during the complete lockdowns, because technically you were allowed to sort of travel and visit people if they were part of your sort of immediate kind of support bubble.
Yeah.
So usually that was counted as like very close family. So by that, under those rules, we sort of figured that, well, because you're allowed a certain number of support bubbles, naturally family's going to be one of them. So for me, during sort of typical holiday seasons, I would,
Oh, that was fine.
travel back to visit
I remember
family. Yeah.
Christmas 2020 where they sort of lifted them a bit.
They did,
Lifted
yeah.
the restrictions so we could spend time with our family, because I mean it's Christmas at the end of the day.
Yeah, indeed. People need that on occasion just to prevent themselves going a bit mad. But yes, it's just one of those things where because the thing is. Because family, I kind of need that connection, because otherwise I'd just sort of be down here on my own. I think under the rules it was kind of very much something that we saw as being sort of okay, basically, because we kind of needed that support bubble, essentially.
Did your at the time, and I suppose still does your sister live with the parents, so they would have also had that been together? Yeah. Okay. Well, there's that, isn't there? That's the main thing that we've all learned, that your family has still been there to support you as well.
Indeed.
But you can't see some of the parts. I mean, like aunties and uncles. I have aunties and uncles that live far away. It's difficult to see them.
Indeed. Well, the thing is, it's like those rules, isn't it? That if they're slightly more distant relatives, i.e., ones who you wouldn't necessarily be seeing on a regular basis, then technically they'd be sort of like outside your support bubble. It would be sort of like restricted to immediate family members. True.
Such a shame that.
Indeed.
But this is what happens when this is sort of experience for future as well. If we ever come across any other pandemics.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't really learn anything from the 1918 one.
Well, it's one of those things, like, something often that gets talked about, like on international security and political courses, things like this at universities, how, why is it that feels like sometimes we never really learn lessons from past things? And usually sometimes it's just because, like, well, some of them are so long ago that, of course, there's nobody really around who remembers it now. And so,
that's
kind
true.
of that,
1918 was a hell of a long time ago.
Yeah, because that connection has now been lost. And so as a result, people just sort of maybe get distracted by other issues that are happening at the time, and they just don't really think about that sort of potential event, and therefore people don't really plan all that much for it. But I mean, thing is, like, when you saw the outbreak of the COVID pandemic, I mean, there was a lot going on in the world at the time that was just occupying people's thoughts. So I mean, I can.
We've had a few conversations. Yeah, we've had a few "So Being Hunted" podcast episodes where we've had a big chat about various different things with regard to COVID.
Yeah.
But another thing, I suppose, you can think that people have learned. Oh my God, it's increased people's exercise routines.
Indeed.
People who didn't even consider doing much exercise have it's gone haywire. I remember when I was going out and about, loads of people were doing walking, loads of people were running and biking, and all over the shop. And it's a bit weird. Is why are you suddenly partaking in exercise now when you weren't interested in it before?
Yeah. People now have the time and all that, because they find they've got to fill their days with something, since perhaps they were on furlough or they were on reduced working hours or whatever. They just need something to fill up the
didn't
day.
Want to go do-lally.
Indeed, yeah.
That's the main thing. No do-lalliness. And it helps as well. Exercise is very, very good. Not just for your physical health, but it's good for mental health as well.
Yeah.
Like me going out for walks because I couldn't go to the gym because it was shut. But when the gym opened again, it's good to get out in the gym because it's good to be away from, because you're always in your house all the time.
Indeed.
So exercise was key for everyone. Although it was a point where you're only allowed to do one form of exercise, but
yeah.
But
Indeed.
hey, at the end of the day, it's
It's
got to
fine.
do it, and hopefully it's got more people fitter.
Yeah, hopefully.
There was that.
Indeed.
What's his name? That guy who helps by doing exercise videos. Joe
Oh.
Suggs. Joe. Someone or other. Can't remember his
Yeah.
name.
I feel
Maybe
like
some of the viewers will know.
Yeah, I feel like that sounds familiar, but I can't remember the name of the person
Yeah, he
who
did some
did it.
exercise videos to help everyone out, which is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Indeed. Just what you need, though. Sometimes people sort of set up like little virtual groups to sort of like do joint exercise with each other remotely and all that, and it was quite interesting to see those kind of like virtual community bonds kind of forming in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the massive, gigantic learning experiences that everyone has learned and got from it is, oh my God, we can actually do decent working from home. Is the main thing.
Yes, indeed.
And everyone is loving Zoom. That was it.
Yeah.
The
Zoom.
virtual conference calling software.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you've got to, because it wasn't well known before that, but
No.
obviously people found it was good for conference calls. So I bet the CEOs of Zoom were like, oh wow, they were having a look at their figures during the pandemic, and it started. Oh, this is looking good. Yeah, some nice figures. Oh, hang on.
It's climbing
Oh
up
my
even
goodness.
further.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh wow. Oh Jesus. Everyone's using us.
Indeed. Yes.
Yeah. So working from home has obviously been a big thing, and that's a big learning experience. That we found out that people can learn from home, work from home, and not be because I think some bosses were worried that people who work from home are just not going to do any work.
Yeah.
But they found out no. Work can actually be done.
Indeed, yeah. It's interesting, because I mean, I've talked about this before in another City Being Hunted episode about how it has that kind of potential to sort of change our kind of lifestyles in a way. In terms of like
the
working
very first
patterns.
the very first early COVID SIRS we did, which I believe was called. There was one where we all did together called Remote Working from Home. I think it was
something like that.
And there was one where you were talking about the experience working from home and using Adobe Connect and all that.
Indeed. But yeah, I mean, I sort of said in those ones that thing is like, I always sort of wonder like that kind of old school kind of idea of the working day is 9 till 5, you have to go into work and all that. That's quite an old thing, and it's something which increasingly I think as we move beyond
I think
COVID.
for me it's 8 till 4.
8 till 4 for you. Well, similar thing then. But essentially, I think as we move increasingly into sort of like a very digitalised age, and there's more kind of potential for kind of more flexible types of working pattern, and COVID has perhaps just sort of put an extra impetus on that. So it won't be the case in all jobs, but it will be increasingly, I think, be some.
It's sort of dying its death as well. I've noticed that, like with our business, probably with your business, we're going to start having working from home days. So we're going back into the office now. But we're going to have moments where you're like 3 days on, and you'll have other day 2 days working from home. So it's going to be like a permanent fixture.
Yeah, because the thing is, like when I was, pre-COVID, for example, certain things that we used to do in my work, like for example, like student consultations, things like that, we had sort of just an unspoken kind of understanding that would be done face to face. But increasingly now, work is having us do things like that more flexibly. So they're saying if you want to do it remotely, online, you can do, or if you want to do it face to face, it's your choice.
It's given us more flexibility
freedom
now, hasn't it?
Yeah,
working from home.
Indeed.
But it's funny to think that, because I remember when I was, way back, 2018, 2017, when I was working, and I'd be, I'd love to work from home.
Yeah.
I'd love to work from home. After 2021, I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the office.
You want to get back in. It's because it's one of those things again. It's sort of like
It's that thing. It's that cliched saying. Be careful what you wish for.
Indeed, yeah. You sort of realise perhaps what you've taken for granted, and what you kind of took for granted was having kind of people around you who you could talk to and socialise a bit with as you worked.
You
things
need
like
that
that
because it's apparently I read a fact that being alone and being is actually as bad for your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Right, yeah. Indeed. Well, mental health and all that, I think it's one of those things that increasingly these days we're starting to become more and more aware of it. Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. Like, I think in the future, it won't necessarily strictly be a case of, everyone will work from home or everyone will work in an office. It'll probably be like that kind of blended approach to working, where some days it'll be in the office.
So I
Yeah.
suppose in a way, I know this sounds a bit strange, but thank you, COVID, for that. I suppose.
Never thought you'd say thank you, COVID, eh?
I
For
know,
anything,
for
but
showing us that working from home can actually work.
indeed, yes.
And work well.
Indeed. Yeah. So there you go.
I think also as well. Is the another learning experience that we can gain from this is massive thank yous to the NHS and to retail staff for helping us supply. So obviously NHS is trying to help, and the other emergency services and retail staff, supermarkets, shops, for obviously continue to operate, being as essential to help people get the stuff they need.
Yeah, the unsung heroes of the pandemic.
Absolutely. Pay rises for all, I would say.
Yeah. Thing is, like, with shop workers, I mean, it must have been hella stressful, especially like in the early months when people were panic buying.
Oh, good
do you
lord.
remember that?
Oh, yeah, well, you had a whole episode on it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
I know.
I just remember going into the supermarket and going down the, like the toilet paper aisle, nothing. Going down the tinned food aisle, nothing.
Yeah,
Just
dried pasta,
crazy.
gone.
Yeah.
None of that there. Indeed, it was ridiculous. Because, like, well, there's no actual shortage of goods here. They will get to where they need to be, but it's just that thing that people do that. A certain kind of quarter of, I don't know, society just sort of gets into a panic and like starts immediately trying to take as many stuff off the shelves as they can because they think like they're going to be in some sort of weird
Dire
lockdown.
straits.
Where it's going to be almost like an apocalyptic scenario. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's silly really as well. Yeah, I will say it was an inconvenience, but nothing compared to what the supermarkets bit. We're having those before they thought that masks would work. Was the massive queues outside supermarkets.
Oh god, yeah, I remember that. I remember going to my local Sainsbury's and at some point, points early in the pandemic, and it was just like the queue would like extend right around the car park in all directions.
We had that. Other supermarkets are available. We're not sponsored by Sainsbury's. But yes, I remember the queues going, and then finally when they introduced masks, they started to reduce the queues, which is fantastic.
Indeed. There you go. Yes. Indeed.
Oh, and those people as well. It also brought on the negative side a set of people that were absolutely imbecilic, idiotic, stupid. The anti-maskers.
I know.
Anti-vaxxers. Oh, fuck off!
I know. It's just like ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, I get sort of,
I'm not wearing a mask. No, I'm not wearing a mask. I don't want something covering my face. I can't breathe. Really, you can't breathe? Before the pandemic, did you not realise that NHS staff and nurses wear masks when they're treating people in operations every single fucking day? You stupid fucking cunt.
I know. And have you not seen, like, for example, in certain East Asian countries where mask wearing is actually pretty common anyway, even before the pandemic? It was like,
well, they have lots of smog, don't they?
Smog, yeah. The thing is, like, I mean, I get ultimately at the end of the day that it's people's choice whether they want to or not, but the thing is, we're in kind of a situation here where it's not really that simple as just saying, well, I'm just exercising my right to choose. At the end of the day, it's about whether your actions kind of affect other people as well.
Other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the learning thing as well, is how quickly we can produce a vaccine.
Indeed,
when the situation really arises. So that was good. The quick turnaround of creating a vaccine.
Yeah,
did
absolutely.
Really well on that.
It was pretty impressive. So that was, I guess all those scientists, those companies like AstraZeneca and Oxford University really pulling their fingers out there. It's really good.
What was annoying is when we got them, the other countries got a bit ticked off at us.
Indeed.
They were like, "Oh, why do you get to have it first?"
Just that sort of vaccine nationalism that was just like, really, why are we engaging in this?
I remember one of the ones was France.
Oh yeah,
having a go.
Indeed.
At us. But we got the vaccines out and it's been put all over the place.
Yeah.
And then so that was fantastic. But yeah, the anti-maxers and anti-vaxxers just
the anti-maxers.
Oh, I can't have a injection. No, they're going to put chips in us.
Yeah.
Chips. They're going to track us.
Bill Gates. It's just like, oh god.
Bill Gates in particular. Why him?
And why does he need to inject you with a chip when he can literally probably just track you through your phone and all that with its operating system?
Yeah.
Yeah.
huge systems in your
Indeed. That's conspiracy theories for you. Like, they don't. When you start actually thinking about them, picking them apart, they don't make any sense. It's just ridiculous. Indeed, the devil is always in the detail, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that. But there you go. Indeed.
Crazy, isn't it?
Crazy, indeed. Yes.
Can you think of any other learning experiences that popped up? Because I think I've thought of quite a few there.
It's always another learning experience. This was very much kind of related to work.
Yes.
Was if you're going to be working remotely using software to kind of work virtually, always have a backup just in case the software you're using conks out, goes wrong. Because originally, when we started off in the pandemic, we were using Adobe Connect a lot, and Adobe Connect normally is fine, but the problem is that because we were sort of routing the kind of Adobe Connect through certain servers in order to kind of utilize it at where I work. The problem is it resulted in it being very slow and sometimes very temperamental. Right. So one thing we quickly learned was that you have to have other software as a backup, like Teams and Zoom and stuff like that. Because there were times where certain courses we were teaching on, like, because Adobe Connect, because we were running it through this specific type of server, it was just like running so slow at times that it's like you could not have a lesson online like that. So we ended up switching to MS Teams anyway, just because it was easier. But yeah,
it also makes you appreciate. I've noticed it makes you appreciate this plan's made you appreciate the office more. Because I remember when we first were allowed back in the office and I got to see my colleagues again, that was wonderful.
Yeah,
seeing them again and seeing how they were getting on and how things were going.
Yeah, I mean,
but it was nice for you to walk back into your
absolutely
university.
Yeah. Back into
you opened the
academy.
door. The door creaked open. Here. Hello.
That's exactly what I did. I went through the main entrance and then leered around the side of the door and went, hello, in exactly that voice. What are we doing here then? There we are. But yeah, thing is, like, it's good that we're moving to flexible working, but I think there is still going to be a place for, obviously, like, office working as well, just from time to time, because obviously, thing is, like, people say, of colleagues who I've spoken to, for example, say that it's good sometimes, having the option to work from home, but sometimes you do need to get out of the home when you're doing work, because otherwise it's like that space between work and home sort of shrinks a bit, and it's like sometimes you need to kind of separate them.
I 100% agree with you on that.
Yeah.
There's moments when you're in the office, you can and it comes to the end of your working day, like right, time to go home.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're working from home, it's like the end of the working day. It's time to go.
Oh, I am home. Yes. Yeah, sometimes, like you say, you need that distance a little bit between work and home space. So yeah, that's why I think the future is not necessarily strictly remote or in office. It's probably that blended approach. Yeah. The blended approach to working. There we are. There you go, folks.
Oh, also the what was when the idiots would go things, like the people you remember on like planes going, what would they do if I said I had
God,
yeah.
That one guy who I remember reading about in the news, just like
playing around. Yeah.
Just why the fuck? Like, if there's one surefire way to basically make a whole plane load of people absolutely fucking hate you, then that's probably it. Just by inconveniencing them in that way, and basically saying, well, now we have to land, and now we have to either wait for a new departure time, or now we have to just get ourselves onto a completely different flight because you've just basically beggared up this one for no reason. It's just like, and he did it for the clicks and all this. It's just like, how selfish can you fucking be? Good lord.
Yeah. Also, you have to feel sorry for the people who were furloughed, or the people who even lost their jobs.
Yeah.
Like the bars and the restaurants, because they're all shut down and losing business.
Absolutely, yeah. You have to feel sorry for them and all that. But, indeed.
But I must admit, one thing that did happen, which I will clap for and say well done, was Tesco, when they said when the bars and restaurants started reopening. Tesco basically put in an ad.
Yeah.
But the ad said it was an ad for it was about beer, but they said basically in the ad they said, don't buy beer from us. Go to your local bar and support them.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
MVP.
It's kind of altruistic Tesco. On their part, looking out for the small businesses.
Well done to Tesco for doing that.
Yeah.
On the beer. Oh yeah, you've got to feel sorry. It was a bit funny this, but you've got to feel sorry for the Corona Beer Company.
Yeah.
Their sales went right down.
Indeed
I
they
remember
did.
going into the supermarket where there was like where they had the beers, and there was like all the other beers were just completely gone and sold out, but the Corona was still standing there because idiots think that yes, the virus lingers inside the beer because it's got the same name as it.
Yeah, it's stupid, isn't it? It's just like, that's not how it works, ladies and gentlemen. But then again, there's always so many kind of armchair experts out there who think they know how disease works when, they immediately, as soon as they start typing on Twitter, instantly these people don't know what they're talking about. Good Lord. There you go. Yes, that's exactly the case with Corona beer. Indeed.
How long was it before when it first started until you got to see your parents?
It was a good few months. Yeah, because I'm trying to remember, when did the restrictions first start?
The restrictions, we first had our first lockdown March 2020.
March 2020. Oh, actually, I can't remember. Did I come back up north?
That's 2 years ago.
Yeah, it is. It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Wow, it's now March 2022.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Wow.
Yeah, you didn't want to think about that now, did you, Phil?
Oh my God.
Yeah. No, it's just I think it's March 2020 with our first lockdown. I can't remember. Did I go back up north for Easter?
Did you go back for Easter? Yeah.
I can't remember whether I did or not. So I may not have done it. It may not have been until summer when
I'd have thought you'd gone back and go, excuse me, I know there's a lockdown and coronavirus, but Mummy and Daddy, I want my chocolate egg.
Chocolate eggs.
My chocolate egg.
Maybe I did, but I can't really remember it too well. So I might have done. And again, may not have done. I seem to recall there was at least one holiday period where I didn't go back up north. I had to sort of stay kind of down south, and it may have been Christmas. I would have gone up for because I would have been pretty.
Well, obviously you did because we did a bloody Christmas 2020
true.
roundup.
Yeah, we had to. Yeah, indeed. So that was indeed the case. So yeah, it may have been an Easter break. I just can't remember March. I can't remember Easter 2020 all that well, and that may be the reason because I was just stuck down here. But who knows? Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I'm just misremembering. But who knows, eh? Indeed.
Oh, that was crazy. And it's funny that when we got to the end of 2020 and came into 2021, we're thinking, right, things are going to improve from here on out. Not really.
No, sadly not. But we just had to soldier on through it, basically.
Yeah, because we had more variants. Obviously, we had the main, then the Delta came through, that one mostly affected. I think that one mostly affected Brazil and India.
Yes, certain areas.
And then Omicron, which came in again and forced us to have another lockdown.
Yeah, that's the thing though with obviously like infectious diseases. Like, you have to monitor them for mutations and things like that, and they can mutate very quickly into different variants. So you just got to keep an eye on them.
I made sure I got all the vaccines I could, and I've been triple jabbed.
Same here, yeah, triple jabbed, baby.
And what I've loved about it is I didn't have a side effect for all three of them. The only thing I had was a bit of a sore arm and going to the gym. Well, I'm used to that, so it don't faze me.
No, it didn't. Yeah, I was unlucky. It's funny actually, because my first jab, I don't think I really had side effects. The second one, I had a few more. Then third one, I just it really hit me. It was really weird. Funny how it went in that order.
It depends on.
Indeed, yeah. It was weird because like the third one. It was like first couple of hours afterwards I was fine, but then progressively as the evening wore on I just started to get like chills and just started feeling really shit.
Well, you'd rather have that than have the actual thing itself.
True.
I would say.
Indeed. And you can take some paracetamol and you'll be fine later on.
Oh, good old paracetamol.
Yes.
Good for curing all ailments.
Indeed it is. Yes.
Right. Yeah, it's. I can't believe we've lived through things and. Everything like this, like you can tell your children and grandchildren, like eventually when they grow up and they start working, obviously it'll still be an office and a working from home sort of shift, and you can go to them. I remember back in my day when it used to be, we used to be in the office
9-5,
5 days a week.
Yeah,
you're like,
indeed.
What? Really?
Yes,
really,
exactly.
Granddad? Really, you did that? You're in the
Granddad?
office 5 days a week or something like that.
And then we went on to a blended approach to working where we were doing on all them mess teams. Do you remember teams? Oh, dearie me,
Then I went
Margaret.
to supermarket and couldn't find me tin pasta.
Yes, indeed. Oh, them's were days where you had to queue up for flipping 20 minutes outside the supermarket just to get your bog rolls. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yes.
See,
stories for the grandchildren. There we go.
I want to understand the mentality of human beings and why we think that when something like this happens, why panic buying has to happen.
Indeed, people who are just. I think it's just that thing about fear and all that is perhaps the motivator of strange behaviour, the greatest motivator of strange behaviour, along with various other emotions.
Yeah, it's
indeed.
It's like as soon as oh my god, there's a pandemic. Oh my god, I need to get toilet paper.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I mean,
it's restricted.
Yeah, they did like 2 units per person. Yeah, something like that. But yeah.
And then there was that one incident I heard where the supermarkets that they were losing the toilet paper faster than the workers could stock them.
Yeah.
So they had to actually put and some of which was really, really horrible. Some of the workers were actually getting pushed over and shoved over.
Yeah.
So they had to put like barriers around them while they were stocking them.
It's just crazy, isn't it? Yeah. How like people will do that. It's like incidences of like shop workers who are just trying to do the job being abused verbally, and in some rare cases actually being physically attacked.
Yeah.
It's just like
so they
what
could
the
get
hell?
The toilet roll, and they had to put barriers around them while they were stocking the toilet roll back.
Yeah. It's just there is always, I think, just that. There's always going to be crazy people who just need to take a bloody chill pill.
Yeah, I heard as well that obviously supermarkets and stuff and places like that have toilet paper in their bathrooms, and some people actually go into their bathroom and taking the toilet paper and taking it home with them.
Damn,
Yeah, they were like, and even if they were, because most public toilet paper have that big dispenser thing, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
And some of them were actually breaking it, punching it until it broke open so they could gain access to the toilet paper.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I'm
be
sorry.
surprised about that.
Is this Left 4 Dead? Is this we're not in a zombie apocalypse, for fuck's sake?
Man, imagine in Left 4 Dead if you were actually punching open a toilet paper dispenser in a public bathroom. Deary me.
Also, tinned stuff like tin when you get like tin macaroni or stuff in those little tins.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it tastes really shit.
It is a bit shit, yeah.
Tinned vegetables and everything. Why get that when you can get the nice fresh,
Yeah, or just like a frozen bag of them, which are probably better.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
I was just thinking. Remember, tin aluminium is a weird metal because it can change stuff's flavour.
Yeah.
So
indeed. I was just thinking though, back on the subject of like toilet paper, like stealing it from like public bathrooms. I feel like even if I was in a desperate situation, I would be reluctant to kind of do that because people have obviously been having their grubby hands all over that toilet paper. And the thing is, like, you think about it, what have you probably just been? Where have you probably been, where your hand's probably been, as you're actually grabbing that toilet paper and using it, it's probably been, around the arse vicinity and all that.
As well as that, yeah.
Indeed, so it's probably, bacteria infested. I don't know, just saying a little bit of bacteria on that. You probably don't want to be. Yeah.
Some people who couldn't get access to the actual toilet paper in the bathrooms, I think, took some of the paper towels.
Yeah,
from the actual dryer units. Yeah, you got to think where are people putting their hands there.
Yeah, it's just no thanks. But yeah,
it's nice to go into the supermarket now and see the toilet paper aisle just stacked full. No one's panic buying stuff anymore.
Yes. Yes, there was a couple of weeks ago.
We can be a stupid species, can't we?
Yeah, we can. There was a slight moment, though, a couple of weeks ago when I went into my local Sainsbury's, and at first I thought people had been panic buying because there was a whole section of like the freezers that were just completely empty, and I was like, what the hell? But then it turned out, no, they just had a freezer malfation. I was like, oh, shit.
So people were like, oh, I want me ice creams, I want me frozen pizzas.
I want me ready meals and all that. Frozen fillets of fish from Bird's Eye.
Oh, good old Bird's Eye.
Yes.
Yeah, they know how to do it. Bird's Eye, I would say, is the king of frozen stuff.
Indeed.
And it's good stuff as well. They do fantastic, like fish fingers and chicken burgers and beef burgers and all sorts.
Other, frozen meat brands are available, but let's be honest, Bird's Eye is probably at the
Bird's
top.
Eye is so pro.
Yes,
indeed. The frozen variety of stuff.
Yes, indeed. You know who I've not seen on TV for years, Phil? Captain Birdseye.
Probably because they're doing good in their revenue.
Yeah.
Well, we say that, but Coke still advertise in their
true.
revenue stream. I don't know why Coke need to advertise. To be honest, they're the most popular soft drink in the world.
Indeed.
Like Cadbury. Do you really need to advertise Cadbury?
Well,
Maybe they're just getting the one up on like Galaxy or whatever.
Yeah. Got to create a social media buzz with adverts featuring gorillas beating drums and kids with weird wiggly eyebrows and all that.
I love that. You know what the music was for that, don't you? The gorilla one.
I can't remember.
Phil
what was
Collins
it?
in
Phil
the air
Collins.
tonight.
That's the one. Yeah.
And I
there you
can
go.
feel it coming in the air tonight.
Whoa, slow down, Phil. We'll get content ID'd for cover music. There we go.
Oh my God!
That was such an accurate cover of Phil Collins, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed. There you go. I think we've been recording for a good amount of time there. Unless there's anything else you want to say
I
there,
think
Phil.
we've gone through most all the learning experience. Just trying to think if there's any other experiences. But definitely, this is definitely a good question for the viewers.
Indeed.
What learning experiences have you received from the pandemic? What have you obtained from the pandemic? Have you has it been? Was it tough for you? Were you without your friends and family?
Yeah.
How did your work experiences go? What was your supermarket experiences like? Did you have a moment where you had a health issue and you had to actually get treated by the NHS staff?
Yes. Or indeed the health system of whichever country you might be watching this from. Indeed.
Sorry, it should be more tailored around the world. But what have your been experiences and learning endeavours during the pandemic? Please tell us, because we are very, very interested to know.
Indeed, yes.
And hopefully we've given you an insight into what we feel we obtained from the pandemic. It's been a horrible experience for us for the last 2 years. These 2 years, but we seem to be right at the tail end now. This horrible thing, and 2022 seems to be looking better coronavirus-wise.
Yes, indeed.
However, it's not looking better for Ukraine and Russia-wise.
It's not. Indeed, there's always something going on.
As of this recording, Putin is being very Hitler-esque.
Yes, he's being a little bit aggressive, shall we say? Just put it like that,
I know. To
Indeed.
Ukraine. They took over a power station from last year, and they're attacking all the Kyiv and everything. And what is? I saw a comment on the internet, which is a fantastic comment. What it saying? He was saying, I think it was from one of the American senators.
Yeah.
And he basically said, what Putin should do is do what that man did in his bunker in May 1945.
Wow. Just outright saying it. Yeah. There we are. Indeed. Yes.
So I've got one message for that. Fucking piss off, Putin.
I know. It's just ridiculous, though. Because the thing is, no matter how this turns out, basically, I think pretty much every Ukrainian is now just going to be pissed off at Russia for the coming decades. It's just you really made your mark there, Vladimir. You've really done a good job.
Yeah, I remember in 2014 he took Crimea.
Yeah, I think we're getting into a whole other topic of conversation here, Phil.
Very political, that one.
Yeah.
But yes,
yeah, I think we'll need to wrap up.
If we've got any Ukrainian viewers, thoughts out to you.
Yeah, indeed, yes.
At this moment in time.
But we'll wrap up here, I do think, now.
Yes.
Since we've been recording for a good amount of time there.
Experiences of the pandemic.
Yeah, indeed. So, Facebook and Twitter links down below, along with a link to my propagandist channel for anyone interested. And if you enjoyed, a like's always appreciated. On that, thanks for joining me, Phil.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Yeah, a big combo right there. Oh god, we're under attack. Yeah, I remember this with this level. This friggin' giant robot fish. Yeah, try and shoot you. Shoot the cannon. Oh god, get these on the combo. There we go. Just fire randomly. Okay, it helps in this level, obviously, if you... was there a fish there? Yes, there was. If you keep a power up on this, so where you're getting, all the extra points. There's one behind us, isn't there? Nope. Just hitting the thing without meaning to. Okay, go. It's basically one of those jobbies where you just have to friggin' keep shooting.